Good morning. We back at it. Well, we got back at it yesterday. Me and Foxy was back at it yesterday, but I'm back at it. We are not on location anymore. We back at home at the desk doing all of the things again. Good morning, happy all day. Good morning, sunshine. Child, I've been up all morning. I already did my little work for the day. I had a bunch of emails because, while I was gone, people was emailing me, and I was like, girl, I'm out of town, but I'll see y'all Monday. So I've been responding to emails, doing all the things that I need to do to get ready for summer school. But I'm not a teacher in summer school. I'm an administrator. So, you know what I'm saying? It's a little different. So I get to go live much, much more during the summer than I get to do during the school year. So I already have my first three. Well, me and Foxy did one yesterday. If you didn't check out the women of a certain age that we did yesterday, we were talking about Black women aging. And I thought it was a really good live. We had a good time. And we probably would have stayed a little longer if Foxy didn't have to go and be fast out in the streets because it's still summertime, and between me and her we just out here doing all of the things. But we had a good time yesterday. Hey, learning. Good morning, sunshine. Thank you for being here. Hey, y'all. Hey, good morning, y'all. I hope if my mic is sounding weird, y'all let me know. I listened to a replay of one of my lives and it was sounding janky. I was like, Lord, I ain't trying to spend no more money on this little free app that I'm just up here doing the things on for my entertainment and hopefully for the education of others, child. Like, no. Hey, Kara Melanated. Good morning, sunshine. It's good to see you, honey. Thank you guys for being here. All right, y'all. So listen, we are, it's all about health and wealth and aging gracefully over here on this channel and doing all of the things. I have no rhyme or reason sometimes for half of the stuff I do. But when I look at my channel and I look at my dashboard, it does all make sense. Like, it's the weirdest thing to me. So today it's going to be about food. Tomorrow it's going to be about the mindfulness walking. I will share tomorrow with you guys the walking that I did when I was away on vacation. I literally walked every single day on vacation. I walked miles and miles and miles for hours and hours and hours. And honestly, that's how I got the majority. Like, I am a little chocolater. I'm a little more melanated because of the sun out in Mexico. But that's how I got it. I got it, the majority of it, from walking. So we'll talk mindfulness walking, and then we'll get back into our devotions again. And if you missed any of the devotions, you can catch the snippets. I have uploaded them. They go live every day at 12 o'clock. So those premiere every day at 12 o'clock, whether I am online or not. So yeah, I'm trying to, get a little fancier over here and do more things over here. So I appreciate everybody that is here. Yes, good morning to everybody, and everybody. All right, you guys. So we are starting with chapter 4 from our reading of How to Eat and Live Longer by Dr. Reginald Eadie. And chapter 4 is called The Geechee and the Gullah. I'm going to tell you this in advance. This first paragraph is the Geechee and the Gullah speaking. So if it sounds different, that is why. And I am not always the best at the pronunciations. I don't teach English. I teach history. So forgive me in advance, especially for all my ELA teachers, y'all. I be trying to work it out. I am not that teacher. I don't check for grammar. I just check for content. All right, let's get started. And then I'll get into the chat at the end of every chapter. F una day from the low country and the island. Look ya, ain't a time for go back. This ya the way for come to God. Would we people for hold on to the things what we people left we. Our God given, well designed, and nearly perfect way of life has been diluted and dismantled since our relocation to the United States and our adaptation of the Western way. Some of us have very little insight on our previous culture and how it relates to how we eat to live longer and had pros- prosperous lives on our native soil. The state of South Carolina and Georgia still house a group of people who, because of their geographic isolation, have been able to preserve more of their African culture than any other group of African Americans. These groups of people were referred to as Geechees, and the culture, which is the language, cooking, style, arts, etc., is referred to as Gullah. I doubt it very seriously if you can find any group of Americans more similar in ancestral Africans than the Geechees. They came from Western Africa, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Gambia, and Senegal, to the low country of South Carolina and Georgia. Hilliard and Janae Eadie, my grandparents, were Geechee folk, and they lived and died the Gullah way. In low country South Carolina, most of their African culinary skills were preserved along with the foods of survival. They adapted during bondage. To the Geechee, rice, okra, grits, mullet, collard greens, sweet potatoes, and boiled peanuts were African foods. Rice, however, was their forte, and having eaten it every day of my childhood, I can surely attest to that. In fact, South Carolina at one time produced most of this country's rice. An old school staple food for low country South Carolina was the frogmore stew, with the Frogmore Plantation on St. Helena Island, South Carolina, being its namesake. It consisted of the coastal crabs, sausage, potatoes, corn, shrimp, when available, and rice. The Gullah dialect is considered a Creole language, as it is a language that arose from contact between two or more different languages and consists of features of them all. According to Gullah Pride, it is specifically a mixture of Elizabethan English, 16th and 17th century, and the following African tongues: Via, Mende, Twi, Iwa, Hausa, Yoruba, Igbo, and Kingonka. Gullah was strategically spoken very rapidly. The faster they spoke, the less the slave masters could understand. The Geechees that were isolated on islands in Southeast America maintained their African diets and way of life as best they could. Those who did this best lived much longer than those whose became more Americanized. My grandparents both died in their 80s. Although too early for my family, they lived longer than the average African American. Had they not eaten pork, fried foods, beef, dairy products, and salty foods, they may still be here today. The result of them eating these types of foods was them suffering from hypertension, diabetes, cancer, congestive heart failure, high cholesterol, and obesity. The Geechees that minimized this new way of eating lived to be much longer than my grandparents. The State, a Columbia, South Carolina newspaper, published an article entitled Saving Gullah, where Sheila Middleton was quoted as saying, I know people, Geechees, that are 95 and 100 who can tell me about my parents and grandparents. Musk Tech Sierra Adarut Fuhil Tree. Chapter 5: Butter, Margarine, and Milk. Of everything that goes inside of you, have a complete understanding of its effects on you. Dr. Eadie. Many friends, family, and patients have asked whether it is better to eat butter or margarine. This question is the reason why I have included this chapter in this book. I'm going to pause and tell you guys I don't eat either. I use uh, olive oil, and I use the spray olive oil, and I use nonstick cookware mostly. The only time I will get butter and margarine, honestly, is when I cook for the holidays. And when I cook for the holidays, that is when I cook our soul food. Interesting. Good morning, Foxy and family. Hey, Sunshine. Hey. All right, back into the book. They should have instead asked me which one is worse. A clear and concise explanation must be provided to the masses so that they can understand my look of discomfiture and my delivery of a seemingly incomplete answer. Hopefully, the next few paragraphs will provide some sunlight on the situation. Butter is made from animal's milk. Today, cow's milk is most commonly used. Today's cow is fed grains instead of grass and therefore has a newly altered fat content. Butter is doused with saturated fat, about 66% saturated and 34% unsaturated, and a lot of cholesterol. They both predispose you to atherosclerosis, inflammation, strokes, heart attacks, kidney disease, and other untoward health problems. It also increases your omega 6 to omega 3 ratio, which can cause the same problems. Margarine at one time was made from beef fat, milk, chopped sheep's stomach, and cow's udders. Today, it is made from vegetable and fish oils and is now used up to 4 times more than butter. Vegetable oils are mostly unsaturated and can therefore be marketed as being heart smart. Unsaturated fats are liquid when refrigerated. So, why is margarine a solid when it is in your refrigerator? Since the early 1900s, man has been converting these healthy oils into solids. This means they have been converting these unsaturated oils into saturated oils through a process called hydrogenation. It is so called because hydrogen atoms are added to the oils. The other name for these bad fats is trans fat, as you will see them called on nutrition facts labels. While switching from butter to margarine may be a slightly healthier move, they both are similar in calories. The truth of the matter is that both butter and margarine are bad for you. The answer to the question, which one is worse, is whichever one you use a lot of. We talked about this yesterday, you guys, moderation. Yet, because of the elimination of saturated fats and its origin being from vegetables, margarine is the healthier choice between the two. Now, on to milk. The Merriam-Webster's Medical Desk Dictionary defines milk as a fluid secreted by the mammary glands of female animals for the nourishment of their young. A more specific and modern day definition should be an unwholesome liquid meat usually extracted from a cow and intended for its young, but unnecessarily consumed by humans, rejected by the bodies of most Americans, and implicated in promoting the onset of many human diseases, such as insulin dependent diabetes mellitus, obesity, heart disease, cancers, strokes, Crohn's disease, asthma, ear infections, eczema, and constipation. There is only one thing that God can't do, and that is make a mistake. He had a lot in mind when he created your beautiful dark skin, the big bright sun, and foods enriched in calcium. How great thou art! Your dark skin contains cells called melanocytes, whose primary function is to produce melanin. Melanin is the dark pigment that is responsible for your skin color. The darker you are, the more functional melanin you have. Sun rays interact with your skin and produce a premature form of vitamin D. This chemical is transformed into active vitamin D by both your skin and your liver. This active vitamin D works as a hormone which increases the absorption of calcium in your intestines to build stronger bones. Naturally, the calcium comes from the food you eat. Since 1940s, milk has been fortified with vitamin D to reduce the incidence of rickets. Let me rephrase this. Vitamin D is added to milk, just as it is now added to orange juice, cough syrup, throat lozenges, etc. The truth of the matter is that exposure to sunlight for short, regular intervals and proper eating is all we need to produce adequate vitamin D and calcium. God gave us natural ways of producing vitamin D, while man gave us an unhealthy and ineffective way of obtaining vitamin D. The calcium in cow's milk is very difficult for us to use. This is especially true since it has a low magnesium level. Magnesium helps the body convert vitamin D, which the body needs in order to take advantage of bone strengthening calcium, into a form that it can use efficiently. By contributing to increased bone density, the mineral may help stall the onset of the debilitating bone thinning disease known as osteoporosis. The Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine writes, it is a common myth that people should increase their calcium intake. Mostly, they are encouraged to take supplements and to drink more milk. But milk may not do a body good. The highest rates of osteoporosis are in industrialized Western nations, the biggest consumers of milk. Generally, people think that drinking cow's milk is key to preventing osteoporosis. Yet, clinical research shows otherwise. The Harvard Nurses Health Study trailed more than 75,000 women for over 10 years and was unable to confirm a protective effect of milk consumption on broken bones. Actually, increased intake of calcium from dairy products was associated with a higher incidence of broken bones. Another study done by a group of Australian researchers also showed that cow's milk increases bone fractures. Moreover, African Bantu women eat a minimum amount of calcium per day. They also birth an average of 9 children and breastfeed them for up to 2 years. Yet, they never suffer from calcium deficiency, and osteoporosis is almost non existent, even in women over 65 years of age. All milk contains a sugar called lactose. This sugar is broken down by an enzyme called lactase. It shouldn't be hard to convince you that God intended for us to drink from our mother's breast until weaned. After being weaned off of milk, our bodies will naturally no longer produce lactase since we no longer need to drink any milk from our mother's breast. Drinking another animal's milk makes most of us sick with a disease called lactose intolerance. I told y'all yesterday I can't drink it. Most of us cannot. If you get gassy because of milk and ice cream and cheese and dairy products, this is it, y'all. The good doctor is telling y'all why. Pay attention to what your body does when you eat food. Literally, if you get sick, if you get bloated, if you get gassy, listen to your body, y'all. In fact, being lactose intolerant is normal, and being lactose tolerant is abnormal. Most of the world, over 75% and up to 95% of African Americans cannot tolerate the lactose in cow's milk. If cow's milk was truly nature's perfect food, then why does it sicken most of the world? Lactose intolerance is at its highest frequency in some parts of Africa, East Asia, and among Native Americans, but affects all of mankind. It is now wrongly accepted that lactose intolerance is normal and lactose tolerance is abnormal or atypical. Y'all, they didn't even make pills for y'all to be able to tolerate this stuff. That's not normal. You shouldn't have to take a pill to drink or eat. Northern Europeans usually have the lowest incidence of these dietary troubles. Given this distribution pattern of lactose intolerance, it is not surprising that dairy products are more popular among most Europeans, but are rarely found in Asian and Native American households. What about the African American households? It is not healthy for us to drink another animal's milk. It is not healthy for us to drink another animal's milk. Human milk is for human babies. Cow milk is for calves. And dog milk is for puppies. If the Department of Agriculture prepared a pig's milk with added vitamin D and spent billions of dollars promoting it as a natural, placed it on a food pyramid, and told you to drink it, would you? Better yet, would you serve it to your children? Why is the human being the only adult animal that craves another animal's milk? If child abuse is defined as the physical, emotional, or sexual mistreatment of children, I submit to you that giving your child cow's milk could be a form of child abuse. Knowing that butter, cheese, and milk are high in saturated fat, you are consciously predisposing your child to a higher risk of developing obesity, heart disease, diabetes, strokes, mad cow disease, multiple sclerosis, intestinal colic, intestinal bleeding, anemia, salmonella, and many other bad diseases linked to milk drinking. The process of pasteurization has turned out to be a problem. Y'all, this is a hard word for me to pronounce. I apologize. Pasteurization, which is heating cow's milk to kill the bacteria, changes the natural quality of the proteins found in milk. This causes milk allergies in children and interferes with the ability to absorb the calcium inside of the milk. Homogenization of cow's milk is another process whose invention had good intentions but does the body no good. This process breaks the fat into very small particles that can easily be absorbed into the bloodstream. This results in high triglycerides, cholesterol, and clogged arteries. Breastfeeding is the preferred method of infant feeding. Scientists are finally being honest with and advising that we give milk to our children with caution. Of recent, the American Academy of Pediatrics admitted that cow's milk should not be given to infants under 1 year of age. Instead, they should be breastfed. Medical research has demonstrated that breastfed youngsters have higher intelligence, better social skills, stronger immune systems, thus fewer illnesses such as ear infections and less allergies than other formula-fed peers. Dr. Benjamin Spock, author of the world-famous book Baby and Child Care, written in 1998, cow's milk is not recommended for a child when he is sick or when he is well, for that matter. Dairy products may cause more mucus complications and cause more discomfort with upper respiratory infections. This is of utmost importance for children with any respiratory disease, such as asthma, bronchitis, bronchiolitis, pneumonia, and now we have the cousin 19. A major component to these diseases is the mucus plugging that occurs in the lungs. Libraries, the internet, and medical journals are filled with articles and other information opposing the intake of cow's milk by human beings. If you don't care to read them, simply listen to your body as it becomes sickened after you drink milk. Could it be because they know that the USDA and other government agencies allow a certain amount of contamination, which is the pus, the blood, antibiotics, pesticide, and feces to be present in the milk sold throughout our country? The crux of the matter is that God doesn't make mistakes. He made the breast so that it may produce milk. This milk is intended for the mother's newborn, not the newborn of a different mother or animal. Finally, I have learned the detriments of milk from my personal experiences with it. As a child, I suffered from seasonal allergies, asthma, eczema, occasional hives, black rings around my eyes, red eyes, frequent bloating, gas, and diarrhea. My doctor, mother, and I had no idea that these symptoms were coming from my immune system's response to the proteins found in cow's milk. Some children may have reddish earlobes or a glazed look in their eyes. Other symptoms that may be attributed to drinking the milk of a cow include bedwetting, lethargy, and inattentiveness. My body was rejecting this milk because I was allergic to it. Cow's milk is one of the most common food allergies experienced in childhood. There are many protein allergens in cow's milk that cause allergic reactions. Casein and whey are the two main components. Casein is a white, tasteless, odorless protein precipitated from milk by rennet. It is the basis of cheese and is also used to make plastics, glues, and other food. Caseins account for over 80% of the protein in milk and is the most important allergen found in cheese. The harder the cheese, the more casein it contains. The curd that forms when milk is left to sour is called casein. The watery part, which is left after the curd is removed, is called whey. Whey accounts for the other 20% of milk protein. That is the end of chapter 5. I'm going to get into the chat before we get into chapter 6. All right. Caramellated is speaking. Loving is speaking. Hey, we on live. Good morning, sunshine. Thank you for being here. All right, everybody is speaking to We on Lock, and I got the thumbs up. Thank you. Let's keep going, y'all. Chapter 6. Free radicals and antioxidants. If thou wilt diligently hearken to the voice of the Lord thy God, and wilt do that which is right in his sight, and wilt give ear to his commandments, and keep all his statutes, I will put none of these diseases upon thee, which I have brought upon the Egyptians, for I am the Lord that healeth thee. Exodus 15:26. Oxidation is the process of adding oxygen to a substance. This reaction is always altering to the substance being oxidized. For example, metal oxidation produces rust, while oxidation causes the banana to turn brown and then black. Oxidation causes green tea leaves to be converted to oolong or black tea leaves. And it is also why an apple turns brown after it is bitten or cut. Within the human body, oxidation occurs with substances called free radicals. They can be helpful to man when they are produced by the body to help in digestion and the conversion of foods to energy, which is metabolism. In this sense, they are helpful, but they are generally very harmful since they are usually unstable molecules. Free radicals are very unstable and highly reactive substances within your blood that have lost one electron and are aggressively looking for a replacement. They will attach themselves to any cell or molecule within your body to get the electron they lost. However, after combining to molecules that they shouldn't, they damage your cells or tissues. This can lead to cancer, DNA destruction, cardiovascular disease, which is blood vessel damage, and any other imaginable health problem, including accelerated aging, which is the destruction of collagen, causing your skin to sag. They are also produced when the body is exposed to harmful substances such as cigarette smoke, alcohol abuse, pesticides, cadmium, X-rays, gamma rays from radioactive material, car exhaust, and industrial fumes. We are faced with over 10,000 free radicals per day. The good news is that many healthy foods provide substances called antioxidants that actually neutralize these free radicals and render them harmless. While your body already naturally produces antioxidants in order to help get rid of some of the free radicals present, it unfortunately does not produce enough to prevent disease. Therefore, we must make sure that we consume foods high in antioxidants. Major antioxidants that we can consume on a daily basis include vitamin A and beta carotene, vitamin E, vitamin C, and selenium. Vitamin A and beta carotene Beta carotene is a precursor to vitamin A. It protects green, yellow, and orange fruit and vegetables from solar energy damage. Fortunately, it plays a similar role in the body. The carrots, squash, broccoli, sweet potatoes, tomatoes, kale, collards, cantaloupe, peaches, and apricots that your grandmother insisted that you eat are rich sources of beta carotene. Vitamin E. This vitamin can be stored with fat in the liver and other tissues. It delays aging, promotes healing of sunburns, etc. Natural food sources include green leafy vegetables, vegetable oil, and fish liver oil, wheat germ, nuts, seeds, and whole grains. Vitamin C. This powerful antioxidant cannot be stored by the body, so it is important to consume enough of it on a daily basis. This can be accomplished by eating the recommended amount of fruits and vegetables. Natural sources include citrus fruits, green leafy vegetables, strawberries, raw cabbage, green peppers, broccoli, and potatoes. Selenium. Selenium is a trace non-metabolic element that resembles sulfur and tellurium and is used as a key component in photocopy machines. It is found in fish meat and some cereals. It is a trace essential element that, if low or absent, can lead to many diseases. It is associated with a cardiomyopathy, which is a disease of the heart muscle. In pregnant women, celiac B infection, bowel disease, irregular heart rhythms, cardiac failure, and cancer. Patients found to have low selenium levels often have a vitamin E deficiency as well. Following the footprints of our ancestors, it is best to get selenium through foods, as large doses of the supplement form can be toxic. Healthy food sources include fish, shellfish, grains, eggs, chicken, and garlic. Vegetables can also be a good source if grown in selenium rich soils. All right, you guys, that is the end of chapter 6. We are about to get into our final chapter for the day. Happy Our Day is leaving me. Have a good day at work, beautiful. To all my beautiful people, have a blessed day. My class has started. Thank you for being here, and I will see you on the replay. Have a blessed class and a blessed day. Chapter 7, the cow. But the Spirit saith expressly that in later times some shall fall away from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of demons, through the hypocrisy of men that speak lies, branded in their own conscience as with a hot iron, forbidding to marry, and commanding to abstain from meats, which God created to be received with thanksgiving by them that believe and know the truth. For every creature of God is good, and nothing is to be rejected, if it be received with thanksgiving, for it is sanctified through the word of God and prayer. 1 Timothy 4, 1 through 5. This scripture doesn't mean that one is free to eat any type of animal meat. The above scripture specifies meats only which God created to be received. This excludes meats that God created but did not expect us to receive as food. This scripture is often quoted or referred to when Christians defend their stance against vegetarianism or meat eating. The question that often surrounds this scripture is, what is the definition of meat? Meat is defined as the flesh of animals, including fish, birds, and snails, used as food. In the Bible, the book of Luke 24:41 through 42 refers to fish as meat. In the book of Leviticus 11, verse 2, we get directions on what animals men should eat and what animals men are advised to stay away from. Leviticus 7:23 through 27 also warns us against eating fatty foods. Since a Christian should live life as Jesus did, what other questions are often asked? Did Jesus eat beef? And what would Jesus eat? I don't think it is simply a coincidence that Jesus began his mission by gathering men, his disciples, that specialized in the catching of fish. He could have started with cattlemen, herdsmen, shepherds, or some other occupation related to animals. The first four men called to accompany Jesus were fishermen. That leads me to believe that fish was a commonly eaten food and that it was more likely the food of choice for Christ. Although the Bible doesn't specify Jesus' diet per se, the aforementioned verse in the book of Luke 24 and 42 states that Jesus ate fish. In the book entitled, What Would Jesus Eat? Don Colbert suggests that beef was not a part of Jesus' diet. The book explains how the American beef industry has a 200-year legacy. Beef is second to chicken when it comes to the Americans' choice of meat. It has played an integral part in the nation's growth, economic prosperity, and failing health. Y'all remember when Oprah was on her show and she was talking about beef and they came for her throat? Mm. According to a survey done by the USDA Economic Research Service in 2005, the average American eats about 67 pounds of beef per year. African Americans, arguably the unhealthiest group of Americans, eat about 77 pounds of beef per person per year. Hispanics were found to eat an average of 69 pounds of beef per year, whereas Caucasians eat 67 pounds and 62 pounds are eaten by other races. They also found that low income Americans also tend to eat more beef than consumers in higher income households. Does that suggest that beef is for the poor and leads to poor health? Dr. James Howenstein, author of A Physician's Guide to Natural Health Products That Work, had the following answer to this question. Discontinuing or decreasing the intake of meat, particularly beef, appears to be a sensible health measure as it could improve immune function, leading to more effective resolution of infections and killing of cancer cells. Current concepts about cancer believe that all persons are identifying and killing multitudes of cancer cells as long as their immune system is healthy. Removing the detrimental immunosuppression caused by excessive iron deposition in the body seems likely to improve the performance of our immune systems. Persons not wishing to give up eating meat can probably stay out of trouble by donating blood regularly, which should remove the excess dietary iron. Decreasing the intake of meat, particularly beef, may increase the risk of both heart attack and cancer. I'm sorry, I said increase, may decrease the risk of both heart attack and cancer. The cow has always played a role in human life in one way or another. In Africa, the cow's primary function was to serve as a draught animal. It pulled plows, carts, etc. Not many cows were raised in Africa because of its very warm climate and scarcity of grasslands. If Africans did eat the flesh of the cow, it was done very sparingly. In America, the cattle industry developed in the 1800s after Joseph the Real McCoy became a livestock trader. He transported longhorn cattle from Texas to Chicago and then to the eastern borders. Some consider them the oldest form of wealth in the United States. Their ability to provide meat and dairy while reproducing themselves and eating nothing but grass was furthered human interest to raise and sell them. They are called ruminants, meaning they have a unique digestive system that allows them to synthesize amino acids. This allows them to survive on grass and other vegetation. The cow is a low maintenance source of food and income. Today, beef should not be offered a spot in the kitchen or on the plates of African Americans. Beef is very high in fat, full of damaging chemicals, and is destroying America's Black race. The type of fat that is present in beef is mostly saturated fat. It is the saturated fat that clogs the arteries of African Americans and contributes to heart attacks, strokes, and kidney failure. Beef fat becomes saturated because the bacteria in the ruminant's stomach of the cow hydrogenates or saturates the fats within the plants that cows eat. Could this be why the leading cause of death among African Americans is heart disease? Also, packaged beef from your local grocery store has an added ingredient called sodium nitrite, which is a known cancer causing agent. Could this be why cancer is our second leading cause of death? As if this isn't convincing enough, recent news reports remind us of the beef eater's risk of getting infected with the infectious protein that causes mad cow disease. Furthermore, beef is often obtained from cows that are fed chicken litter, animal parts, crops sprayed with pesticides, and other highly toxic substances that don't belong in the body of a cow or a man. It also appears that God doesn't want us to eat the flesh of meat eating animals. Animals that eat meat are considered scavengers. Scavengers will eat anything, especially dead animals that they find on the ground or at the bottom of waters. Their other purpose is to clean up waste products of animals, just like the algae eater in your home fish tank. The scavenger has the ability to introduce diseases that destroy some, if not all, of the organs in our bodies. As a reminder, the pig, catfish, carrion vultures, this is where I hurt my own feelings, y'all. Crabs, clams, oysters, and lobsters. Oh my goodness, I like lobsters. Are some of the scavengers that the Bible forbids us to eat. The cow is normally a vegetarian animal and approved for human consumption. However, it has now become a meat-eating animal. After cows are slaughtered, the remains of the cow are used in the production of cattle feed. Hence, they are meant to be herbivores, but are transformed into carnivores. This is how cattle get mad cow disease. Man, after eating this infected cow, is at risk for acquiring the human form of mad cow disease called Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. The prion. My wounds stink and are corrupt because of my foolishness. I am troubled. I am bowed down greatly. I go mourning all the day long, for my loins are filled with a loathsome disease, and there is no soundness in my flesh. Psalm 38, 5 through 6. A prion is an infectious microscopic protein particle similar to a virus, thought to be responsible for certain diseases that affect the nervous system. Many of us have never heard of a prion, but have heard of the diseases that it allegedly causes. Bovine spongiform encephalopathy, or mad cow disease, CJD, scrappy, and Kuru. I often think of the prion as being immortal, since it is essentially impossible to kill. Even with extreme heat, this tenacious protein survives. Bovine spongiform encephalopathy. Excuse me, y'all. Y'all know, y'all already know how I am. If you've been here long enough, you know I'm gonna slaughter some of the words. Encephalopathy, but I'm going to always try. Another name for mad cow disease was named in a simple and straightforward manner. The word bovine means cow. The spongiform was added to describe the sponge-like hole found in the brains of these sick cows. Encephalopathy plainly refers to the bizarre behavior that the cow displays once infected by the prion. The name mad cow disease is an even simpler name, as it too gives reference to the cow's crazy behavior before it dies. Mad cow disease is a fatal disease which usually wipes out the cow within weeks. Along with the sponge-like pattern within the affected cow's brain, scientists have also described a pattern of the nerve degeneration. Since the prion doesn't live on plants and cows are vegetarians, how do they get exposed to one another? The answer is frightening but true. As I mentioned previously, the cow is fed the body parts of other cattle and sheep. For example, the brains, the bones, the muscles, the blood, and tissue. After being slaughtered, the remains of cows and sheep are turned into sausage. Y'all be careful about the sausage y'all eat. I feel like if you've ever seen sausage made, you'll stop eating sausage. And also added to the feed of other animals. The cattle eat their feed and get exposed to the prion. It takes up to 7 years for the cattle to show symptoms of mad cow disease. You probably recall this disease running rampant through Europe in the 1980s and 1990s. Even worse, in December 2003, the U.S. Secretary of Agriculture announced that mad cow disease had been found in America. Some 3,600 years ago, God gave man law on what we should and should not eat. One of the things mentioned in your Bible is to not eat the meat of scavenger animals. And mad cow disease is another reason why. The cow, because of the way man feeds it, is a scavenger. Scavengers are specially designed by God to be able to eat dead and decaying things. They help to keep the earth clean and free from diseased and dying animals. Some of them also eat the waste products of other animals. When we eat animals that are scavengers, we take into our bodies all the infected food that they have eaten. Child, I gotta pause for a minute because I'm overwhelming myself. Because listen, I see you, Caramel Lady. What? Hello, Miss America's VW. Thank you for being here. Welcome to my channel. Good morning, sunshine. All right, Foxy, I'll see you later, boo. Catch me in the backyard, boo. I might be outside trying to fix this tan on my face. This is where I'm at, Caramelinated. Y'all know when I come up here, I be talking to myself too. The seafood of it all, Caramelinated. We got to stop with the shrimps and the lobsters and the crabs. Oh, that hurts my feelings. As you know, our bodies are not designed to handle this type of food. God, the most intelligent, gave us these laws because he loved us and wanted us to live long and healthy lives, lives that are free of ailments such as mad cow disease. The obedient will never have to worry about this or many other diseases. I have been advising our community for almost a decade, yet no one seems to want to hear about God's law as it relates to the foods that we choose to eat. In the early 1920s, H.D. Creutzfeldt and A. Jacob first described it as a rare and fatal neurodegenerative disease of unknown origin. It was later seen in people that inhabited the mountains of New Guinea. They practiced cannibalism and were thought to be infected after eating infected human flesh. This disease was called Kuru. Since this tribe doesn't exist anymore, neither does Kuru. Today, Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease is what you have to worry about if you are a meat eater. The prion has been found in sheep, goats, mink, cows, mule, deer, and cats. If you eat an animal infected with the prion, you get Creutzfeldt-Jakob disease. So far, it is rare, but it is fatal. There is no single test to diagnose it and no cure for the disease. Even cooking your beef well doesn't destroy the prion. 90% of those infected will die within 1 year. Scrappy is the name of the disease designated to the sheep once it is exposed to the prion. Scrappy was first described in 1730 after observing sheep scraping themselves against objects. They would subsequently walk with a staggered gait, stop eating, and die. KRS-One of Boogie Down Productions shared his thoughts on eating beef and how it negatively affects members of our community in his 1990 hit, Beef. Let us begin now with the cow, the way it gets to your plate, and how the cow doesn't grow fast enough for man. So through his greed, he makes a faster plan. He has drugs to make the cow grow quicker. Through the stress, the cow gets sicker. 21 different drugs are pumped into the cow in one big lump. So just before it dies, it cries in the slaughterhouse full of germs and flies. Off with the head. They pack it, drain it, and cart it, and there it is in your local supermarket, red and bloody, a corpse neatly packed. And you wonder about heart attacks? If you have not heard or read the lyrics to this song in their entirety, I suggest that you take a look or listen. You cannot help but be enlightened and make better decisions about the food choices once you know the truth. All right, y'all, let's take a field trip to see if we can find and listen to. We are at the end of chapter 7, and we are going to see if we can take a trip to KRS-One Beef and listen to the lyrics before we leave. Y'all ready? Get my speaker, y'all. You know I'm a shanky little YouTube channel, but we make it work over here. All right, y'all ready? Let's go.
What a relief! When will this poisonous product cease? This is another public service announcement. You can believe it or you can doubt it. Let us begin now with the cow. The way it gets to your plate and how. The cow doesn't grow fast enough for man. So through his greed, he makes a faster plan. He has drugs to make the cow grow quicker. Through the stress, the cow gets sicker. 21 different drugs are pumped into the cow in one big lump. So just before it dies, it cries in the corner, full of germs and flies. Off with the head, they pack it, drain it, and cart it, and there it is in your local supermarket, red and bloody, a corpse neatly packed. And you wonder about heart attacks? Come on now, man, let's be for real. You are what you eat is the way I feel. But the Food and Drug Administration will tell you meat is the perfect combination. See, cows live under very stress, trying to think what's gonna happen next. Fear and stress can become a part of you. In your cells and blood, this is true. So when the cow is killed, believe it. You preserve those cells and freeze it. Thaw it out with the blood and season it. Then you sit down and begin eating it. In your body, its structure becomes your structure. All the fear and stress of another. Any drug is addictive by any name. Even drugs and meat, they are the same. The FDA has America strung out on drugs and beef, no doubt. So if you think that what I say is a bunch of crap, tell yourself you're gonna try and stop eating meat, and you'll see you can't compete. It's the number one drug on the street, not crack, 'cause that was made for just black, but ground beef for all American feet. Life brings life, death brings death. Keep on eating the dead and what's left. Absolute disease and negative. Read the book How to Eat to Live by Elijah Muhammad. It's a brown paper fact for anybody, either white or black. How many cows need to pump the fat up? How many rats gotta fall in the batter? How many chickens that eat shit you eat? How much high blood pressure you get from pig feet? You will consume the FDA can care less. They'll tell you dog food meat and say it's fresh.
1990. That's when I graduated high school, y'all. Listen, information is out here. Knowledge is power. You have the opportunity to do better, to live better, to make more informed decisions every single day that we are blessed to open our eyes, to wake up, to inhale, to exhale, y'all. One decision, minor decision, conscious decisions. It's time for us to elevate. It's time for us to educate. It's time for us to reevaluate the things that we are doing to ourselves, to our children, to our future generations. The information has been here. I am blessed. I am honored for every single person that has tuned in, that will get this on the replay, that was here live. I love you. If I have helped you just reconsider, reevaluate, I'm not only helping you, I'm also preaching to myself as well. I love y'all. Have a blessed Monday. Let's elevate, y'all. It's time. We can do better. We can be better. We deserve to live long, healthy lives. We do. I agree, Kara Melanated, but if we can't figure out how to budget our money to get this healthy food, we will sacrifice our lives because of it. We will also sacrifice the lives of future generations with inherited diseases that will carry on through generations. We have to prioritize our health. We have to start taking our people out of the hood and get them into grocery stores, because you know they don't put good food into these hood grocery stores. We have to help each other. We have to uplift each other. We got to find a way. We got to make a way, and we got to stop having excuses. Absolutely. I am hoping that as a content creator, I am able to continue to elevate and grow. I listen to the voices of my ancestors. I listen to God every day. Some of the things that I put on my channel will work. Some of the things won't. But I am willing to try. I am willing to show up. And if it helps one person, I am thankful. I love y'all. Thank you for being here. I got to get my workout in. Please work out today, y'all. Please change one thing about what you eat today. Make a conscious decision. It can be sugar, it can be meat, it can be lactose, it can be milk or a dairy product. Make a conscious decision to just change. Be mindful. I'll see y'all tomorrow morning about mindfulness that relates to walking as well as other aspects of your life. I love you. Y'all have a blessed day. Mwah.